Okay, so now we are going to start the concept of after discussing the consumer choice, which was the combination between the consumer preference and the concept of budget constraint. We are going to discuss consumer choice. Okay, or we have discussed consumer choice, and we have said that in consumer choice, what happens is that the slope of the indifference curve, which is marginal rate of substitution, equates the slope of the budget constraint, which is the price ratio, or in our case it was PF over PC. Okay, so again, recalling the things. Okay, we have said that this is our y-axis, okay, and this is our x-axis. Okay, and then we are saying that here we have, for example, clothing, and here we have food. And then we have said that if we are making a budget constraint, if there is a budget constraint which is being forced, or you can say faced by the consumer, and it is like this, okay, then the consumer choice will be at a point where the indifference curve tangent will become tangent, okay, upon the budget line. So this is the indifference curve I see. Again, this is the point where this indifference curve is becoming tangent with the budget line. At this particular point, what is happening, that the slope of indifference curve, which is marginal rate of substitution, okay, equates the slope of the budget constraint, which is PF over PC in our case. Okay, and this minus sign is showing you the negative inverse relationship between the clothing and food, because if you want to increase the number of units of food, then you have to sacrifice this much units of you can say clothes. Okay, or we can just generally say that if you want to increase the quantity of food, you want to sacrifice some quantities of cloth. This is marginal rate of substitution. Okay, and the rate on which you are substituting, okay, clothes with food. Okay, and this is showing you the budget constraint, and all of this discussion was previously done in a presentation. Okay, so now we are going to derive the demand curve, because using the same set of things which we have discussed. ठीक है, इसी चीज़ों के ऊपर ही हम अब डिमांड कर्व को डिराइव करेंगे. ठीक है, and how we are going to derive it, we are going to derive it by again making the same type of graph. ठीक है, again making same type of graph here. ठीक है, here we have y-axis and here we have x-axis. ठीक है, and again we have a budget line. ठीक है, बजट लाइन जो है वो मैं थोड़ी सी बारीक बना लेता हूँ. फॉर एग्जाम्पल आई एम सेइंग दैट दिस इज a budget line which is faced by the consumer. ठीक है, okay, so this is the budget line, and we are saying that again here we had at this particular axis we have clothes, and at this particular axis we have food. Okay, and I am saying that this is the budget line. Okay, and at this particular budget line, what we were saying that this is the intercept. This is the intercept of C, which was we have discussed previously that this is I over PC. Okay, and this is I, which is this intercept is income, which is I again, I over PC, I over PF बल्कि. ठीक है, because this is the intercept term of food, and this is the origin, which is 0. So now again we have discussed a concept, and we said that if, for example, the prices of food increase, ठीक है, we are just talking about the increase in the prices of food. हम सिर्फ food की prices को increase कर रहे हैं, हम clothing की price के बारे में discuss नहीं कर रहे. The price of clothing is constant. The price of food has increased, which is in denominator, then this whole term will decline. When the prices of food will increase, this whole term will decline. Okay, and eventually what will happen, that this particular you can say budget line, which is originated from here, okay, the intercept same at from the same point, what will happen when the prices have increased, this whole term has decreased to this particular point. ठीक है, या आपकी आसानी के लिए मैं ये करता हूँ कि I start from not by increasing the prices, I start from decreasing the prices. ठीक है, I start from decreasing the prices. So here we have PF. Okay, and again, or let me just undo all the things. Okay, so I am saying that the prices have declined, that the prices of food has declined. Okay, so therefore, what will happen? This whole term will increase, and therefore, the budget constraint now which we are facing is starting from this particular point. Okay, but it will, the shape of the new budget line will be like this. ठीक है बात समझ में आ रही है Acha. And likewise, we said that if, for example, the prices of food, and here again, the intercept for food is I over PF. इधर भी तो वही है ना, I over PF. And if we are saying that the prices of food have decreased further, okay, this whole term will increase again. This whole term will increase again. And if this whole term increases, again, we are in need of another, not another, in such a sense that that this point will be equal. Why? Because the prices of clothing are unaffected and the prices of food has increased. So what I've done is that at the same graph, what is happening? I'm just removing all this thing because you know now that what is the intercept term. Okay. What I have done here is this was the intercept of the clothing, where this was the price of clothing, or you can say not the price of clothing, but there was a whole term which was representing the intercept term for C, clothing, and here we had different intercept terms, okay, for food. Okay, so I have extended my discussion by saying that the prices of food had declined. The prices of food had declined. The prices of food had declined. So in this particular term, which is the intercept term of this, you can say in the part of food, we are saying the prices have declined. So this whole term will increase. This whole term will increase. Therefore, we have increased from here to here and then from here to here. Okay. So now we are saying that there are three indifference curves which the consumer is facing, and for example, we are saying that when the prices were here, okay, I'm just quoting that the prices have decreased. So for example, the prices were $2, okay, or 2 rupees, okay, and then the prices have decreased from 2 rupees to 1 rupee, okay, and then the prices have you can say further declined from 1 rupees to zero point 0.5 rupees, okay, zero point 0.5 rupees, okay. So this is what I'm saying. When the prices of food is declining, then first it declined from 2 rupees to 1 rupees, and then it further, here the prices were 2 rupees, it declined to 1 rupee, okay. When the price of food is 1 rupee, this will be the budget constraint, and if the prices have declined further 0 0.5 rupees, then the budget constraint will rotate this word at this particular point. And what is the reason behind this is why? Because the when the prices are decreasing, the my purchasing power is increasing, okay. My purchasing power is increasing, I can buy more now. In other words, I'm saying my income is increasing, I have more budget for food now, and likewise will be my you can say my behavior as well. Again, I'm saying that because of this, what has happened, I had three indifference curves. For example, I had an indifference curve which was tangent upon this particular point, okay. This was my IC curve 1, okay. Okay, and when the budget has increased, okay, I had another indifference curve, okay, a higher one, okay, and it was, for example, here, it was here. This was another IC curve, okay, and then when the budget has increased more for me, when the prices have declined, okay, now I have another budget constraint which is here, okay. This is my another IC curve which is the third one. Here I have here I have B, and this point is, for example, C for me, okay. And at A, what is happening, my combination which I am choosing now at A, okay, the market basket A here for me, okay, is giving me for example 5 units of clothes and 10 units of clothing. At this particular point, what is happening, I am getting for example 8 units of clothes, and I am getting 10 units of food. And at this particular point, what is happening that I am getting, for example, 6 units of clothes, and I am getting 17 units of food. Okay. So we have started our discussion by decreasing the prices. ठीक है, हमने prices को decrease किया from 2 rupees to 1 rupee and from 1 rupee to 0.5 rupee. But what we are looking that we are increasing our purchase of food. We are increasing our purchase of food. ठीक है, पहले हम 5 at 2 rupees I was buying 5, at 1 rupee I am buying 10 units, and at 0.5 I am buying 17 units. ठीक है, and this is again what the law of demand says. ठीक है, लॉ ऑफ डिमांड जो है वो हमें क्या बताता है कि whenever the prices will decrease, the quantity demanded will increase. ठीक है, so we have started our discussion by decreasing the prices, and we have said that the prices have declined. ठीक है, and eventually the prices of food has declined. Eventually what we are looking at is the quantity demanded for food has increased. ठीक है, so we are going to make a parallel graph below. ठीक है, and see that how this works for us. ठीक है, ये हमारे लिए किस तरह काम करता है. वी आर गोइंग टू मेक अ पैरेलल ग्राफ. अल्लाह करे बन जाए. ओके, so here we are going to see that what is the relationship of price with the quantity. What is the relationship with price with the quantity. ठीक है, और हमने यहाँ पर क्या देखा, एंड वी आर गोइंग टू मार्केट एज वेल. ठीक है, इसी को अगर मैं एक्सटेंड करूँ, देन दिस इज here we have 5. इसी को अगर मैं एक्सटेंड करूँ इसको, ठीक है, then here we have 10, here we have 10, and if I extend this particular quantity, ठीक है, I will be getting 17 here. ठीक है, whereas in terms of prices I am saying that this is 0.5, this is 1, and this is 2 rupees. ठीक है, so I am saying that the prices 2 rupees को चलें, ठीक है, खैर है. So we are saying that we are going to plot all these things again in a new graph. ठीक है, इसी graph की वो extension है. ठीक है, and we are going to extend our discussion here, and we are saying that at 5 rupees, ठीक है, at 5 when the quantity is 5, ठीक है, this is where the rupees which are being or what is the price which the consumer is facing, it is 2 rupees. And when the quantity is 10, when the quantity is 10, ठीक है, this 10 has come in a result when the prices have declined from 2 rupees to 1 rupee. ठीक है, and the price when the prices have declined further from 1 rupees to 0.5 rupees, ठीक है, what has happened is that my quantity demanded has increased to 17 rupees. ठीक है, so these are the points again which we have also discussed in Econ 100 and the very beginning of this course. ठीक है, and by joining these points, what we are getting is the demand curve. By joining these points, what we are getting is the demand curve. बात समझ में आ रही है. ठीक है, and likewise, ठीक है, एक तो ये demand curve आपने derive कर ली. This is how the demand curve is derived, and this is how we derive the demand curve from the concept of you can say consumer preference and the budget constraint. So again, first of all, we have discussed consumer preferences. In consumer preferences, we have discussed the concept of indifference curve, IC curve. Then we have discussed budget constraint. ठीक है, ये भी हमने डिस्कस कर लिया. After joining these two concepts, what we have got is consumer choice. Consumer choice is a state where the marginal rate of substitution is equal to the price ratio. The price ratio, which in our case was PF over PC. ठीक है, we have started our discussion by a decrease in the prices of food. We have said that the prices of food has declined. When the prices of food has declined, what has happened? ठीक है, कि we were rotating the budget constraint. ठीक है, from this particular point, from this particular you can say area to this particular area, we have rotated from this point to this point, and then when the prices have declined further, we have rotated this from here to here. So what I was saying that when the prices of food has declined, we are rotating the budget constraint. While rotating the budget constraint, what we are looking at that they were different indifference curves. Okay, there was an indifference map in which there are different indifference curve, and at every budget constraint there was an IC curve which I was facing, which equated or there was an IC curve as well. Okay, and at this these IC curves were, you can say, all these IC curves were tangent upon the budget constraint where the marginal rate of substitution was equal to the प्राइस रेशियो ठीक है ये भी हो गया अच्छा then we have said that when the prices of food has declined from this very analysis we have seen when we were rotating the budget constraint what was happening is that we were increasing the quantity of food from 5 to 10 from 10 to 70 ठीक है so if we मतलब कि if irrespective of this whole discussion which we were doing here, if you want to see just the relationship of the change in price through which we were changing the budget constraint, ये तो price की वजह से change हुई थी ना, ठीक है, because the intercept term was I over PF, ठीक है, और हमने क्या बात की थी that the prices have declined. The prices have declined from 2 rupees to 1 rupee. So we have rotated this budget constraint from here to here. Again the prices have declined, ठीक है, again the prices of food has declined, so we have increased the consumption. ऐसे हुआ था या नहीं हुआ था? At all of these budget constraints there were IC curves which were becoming tangent upon these budget constraints, and upon these budget constraints, ठीक है, there was a certain quantity which you were buying. So here we have made the relationship of prices with the quantity for only food. क्लोथिंग को हम डिस्कस नहीं कर रहे, नो डिस्कशन ऑफ क्लोथिंग हेयर, ठीक है, क्लोथिंग को हम यहाँ पर बिल्कुल डिस्कशन उसकी नहीं कर रहे बिकॉज द प्राइसेस ऑफ क्लोथिंग आर फिक्स्ड. When the prices are fixed, we are not increasing, or you can say we are not there is no relationship of prices with the or we are not interested to look at the relationship of prices with the quantity which is being changing here, ठीक है, हम इसकी तरफ बिल्कुल भी ध्यान नहीं दे रहे. What we are looking at is the prices of food are decreasing and the whole term, this whole intercept term is increasing. So we are moving from this particular point to this point and from this point to this point, ठीक है. So this is what we were doing, that we have skipped this whole discussion. And we just focused on the change in prices of food. ठीक है, and we have seen the effect of change in the prices of food with the quantity demanded of food. And what we have seen that when we were decreasing the prices, eventually the quantity of food was increasing, the quantity demanded for food was increasing, ठीक है. And we have then made another graph showing the relationship of prices with the quantity, and by using the same information which was given in this particular graph, we extended our graph here. We extended our graph here in the second graph, okay, and we have added this information, the decrease in the prices, we have added this information here, okay, and upon combining both of these graphs, what we have come up with, that we have derived a demand curve for food when the prices have declined. Okay, that how the quantity, or what is the response of the quantity demanded. So in this case, what we have experienced is that whenever the prices were decreasing, whenever the prices were increasing, quantity demanded was whenever the prices were decreasing, quantity demanded was increasing. Okay, so through this exercise, okay, we have derived the demand curve. Okay, another thing which you want to understand, that these were some of the points on the budget which we have discussed earlier. Okay, these were different IC curves, okay, which were becoming tangent on the budget constraints, different budget constraints. So if we join these points as well, okay, these points are the points, is the curve which is known as price consumption curve. Okay, so this curve here is showing us all the maximum you can say satisfaction, all those points, ठीक है, on which the combination of food and clothing, ठीक है, where the consumer is having maximum benefit, where the consumer is having maximum benefit, ठीक है, ठीक है, and these points are changing because of a change in the prices. Because of a change in the price, what is happening is these points are also changing, and if we join these points, what we are getting is the price consumption curve. ठीक है, अच्छा, अब एक और बात हम कर लेते हैं और इसी चीज को हम दोबारा से रिवीजन भी हो जाएगी इसी चीज की. We are going to make another demand, or you can say we are going to discuss the same concept which we have discussed earlier. ठीक है, अच्छा जी, we are saying that this here at this particular axis we have clothes. ठीक है, हमारे पास clothes हैं यहाँ पर, and here we have food, and here we have food. ठीक है, अच्छा जी, और यहाँ पर हम ये कह रहे हैं कि दिस इज फूड एंड दिस इज क्लोथिंग. ठीक है, एंड अगेन वी हैव डिफरेंट बजट लाइंस. ठीक है, बजट लाइन में ड्रॉ कर लेता हूँ. वी हैव डिफरेंट बजट लाइंस. ठीक है, और वी आर जस्ट सेइंग दैट दिस इज आवर बजट लाइन. ठीक है, the case which we have discussed earlier was the case when there was a change in price, when there was a change in the price of food. Okay, and we have and the change and the prices of clothing were not changed, or it remained unchanged. Okay, but now what we are doing or saying here is that, for example, this is a budget constraint which is showing that the income of this particular individual is 80 rupees, is 80 rupees, and we are saying that his budget has, and there was a certain, you can say, IC curve as well. There was a certain IC curve as well which was becoming tangent upon this particular budget constraint. Okay, so there was you can say an IC curve, ठीक है, which was becoming at this particular point, it was becoming tangent upon the on the budget constraint, and we are saying that first of all his budget was 80 rupees at this particular scenario, but then his budget has increased from 80 rupees to 120 rupees. ठीक है, his budget has increased from 80 rupees to 120 rupees. ठीक है, so what has happened is that we are not rotating now. We are not rotating now. What we are doing is that we are increasing the budget of the individual, and for that what is happening, the whole budget constraint is shifting from this particular point to this particular point. And then we are saying that there was another, you can say, IC curve which became tangent upon this particular budget constraint. This is IC curve 2, this is IC curve 1. And then we are saying that the income has increased again. The income has increased again from 120 rupees to 150 rupees. Okay, so now he is now more richer. Now he can, or his purchasing power has increased and he can buy more stuff. Okay, and now we are saying that if this is the case, then this is the budget constraint which he is facing, the new budget constraint. Okay, again the budget constraint will shift upwards. Why? Because his income has increased. ठीक है, तो एक और budget constraint बन जाएगी. We are not rotating, we are shifting the budget constraint. ठीक है, ये चीजें इनमें रखनी है आपने. Okay, so again there is another budget constraint, and we are saying that there is another you can say indifference curve. ठीक है, there is another indifference curve. ठीक है, which is tangent upon the budget constraint. ठीक है, but if we extend this discussion to the concept of price and quantity demanded, अगर इस चीज को हम extend करें price और quantity demanded के अंदर दोबारा से, ठीक है, we are saying that this is the section of, or you can say, the axis of price, and this is the axis of quantity. Here we have quantity, here we have price. ठीक है, but here what is happening, we are not discussing any change in the prices. What we are discussing is the change in the income. ठीक है, हमने प्राइस को चेंज करने के बारे में कोई बात की है? नहीं की. The prices are 2 rupees. The prices are 2 rupees. But here what is happening, when there were different indifference curves which were becoming tangent upon the budget constraint, ठीक है, here there were different combinations. ठीक है, so first of all he was buying, for example, 20 units of clothing, and then he was buying at 20 units of clothing he was buying 5 units of food. ठीक है, When his income has increased, there was another icy curve which became tangent upon his budget constraint, and now he is consuming 25 units of clothing and, for example, 10 units of food. When his IC curve or the budget has increased from 120 rupees to 150 rupees, he has increased his consumption for clothing, which is 30 units in our case, and for example, 12 units of food. Okay. So what he has done is here that because of an increase in the income, we are not talking about the change in the price. What we are talking about is the change in the income. Okay, the price is same, 2 rupees. The prices have not changed. We are discussing the same prices. At same prices, what is happening? At same prices, what is happening that if this is 5 rupees, then this is a point. If this is 10 rupees 10 rupees nahi, 5 rupees nahi, this is the quantity of 5 which he is demanding for food, and this is the market of food. This is not a market of cloth or any other. This is the market of food only. ठीक है, ये market of food है कि at 22 rupees, when the price of food was 2 rupees, he is now demanding 5. His income has increased, ठीक है, but the prices are same, 2 rupees, and he has increased his consumption from 5 to 10 units. Okay, here we had 5 units, here we had 10 units, and here for example we have 12 units. Okay, and then the prices are same and he has increased his quantity demanded. ठीक है, अब इस तरह की कर्व नहीं बन सकती इसमें. When the prices are same, इस तरह कर्व नहीं बनेगी. These all points are showing you you can say a demand curve which is shifting, or you can say passing through these points, which are passing through these points. We are in need of another demand curve. These whole points are in need of another demand curve, okay, because the prices are fixed. At all of these points, okay, when there will be not a change coming from the prices, the demand curve will shift. Okay, and this is what we talk about, okay, in economics, that whenever the prices will change, we will move along the curve. ठीक है, और आप यहाँ से देख सकते हैं कि whenever the prices were changing, ठीक है, this whole budget line was rotating. ठीक है, and we were moving from point A to point B and from point B to point C, and eventually what was happening, okay, the quantity was increasing. Why? Because the prices were decreasing. So we were moving from this particular point to this particular point, or from this point to this point. We were moving along the curve. We are in need of a single demand curve. We are in no need of another demand curve. But here what is happening, that whenever the income is increasing, what is happening, we are in need of another demand curve. ठीक है, तो whenever the prices are changing, or whenever the prices changed, ठीक है, what we have done was we were moving along the curve. But as soon as there is a change coming from a non-price determinant, and in this case we are talking about income, when income changed, what happened was we shifted the demand curve. And as we have discussed regarding the concept of price consumption curve here, ठीक है, जो हमने concept यहाँ पर discuss किया है, बिल्कुल वही concept जो है वो यहाँ पर भी आएगा. ठीक है, in this particular case, and this will be upon joining these points, these 3 points, what we are getting is the income consumption curve. The income consumption curve, which is showing you the tracing of all those utility maximizing combination of clothing and food, ठीक है, when the income of the person is changing. ठीक है, so there are 2 concepts here, income consumption curve and price consumption curve, and I will be sharing the handouts of this as well, ठीक है, so that you can refine your concepts and understand the definition of this. So hope you all have understood the lecture. Okay, and please give a feedback on this lecture as well. If you have any question, we can discuss it. Thank you.